and it completely filled the box and completely filled the trailer, and my mower is actually hiding under there. It's just one of those real big cleanups. This one took all day. What's going on? I didn't get any footage of rounding up the leaves on this property, but I am in a very, very nice area of town, closed gated community. Anyways, we have this weird obstacle in the backyard, and so it's got a retaining wall and a very narrow entrance, and you can't get the mower up there, but there's a ton of leaves in the backyard. So I would have liked to use the mower to shred the leaves and get them round up, but that wasn't an option. So what I'm going to do instead is we're using the mower to drag the leaves up front. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that, and then I'll show you the after this job. Alright, this is a technique that I use when I have to either pull a lot of tarps or heavy tarps. Definitely when it's heavy tarps, if I'm going to hurt my back or anything like that, I try to use this method and use the mower to pull the tarps. My wife and daughter are playing in the other room. So, I mean, it works really good. This is a pretty large pile, and off this property we pulled at least 3 times that much leaves. So, I mean, we pulled probably 15 to 20 tarps out of the backyard. I didn't count, but it was a very excessive amount of leaves. Alright, so if you're curious how I hook up here, I'm hooking through, basically I tie the end of the tarp and a loose knot so that I can undo it easy, and then through that I just slip this in there, and I don't latch this all the way. It just turns around and it'll slip in through the rope and acts like a slip knot almost. Okay, makes it very easy. And then on my mower I actually have a slip knot. It looks crazy here, but basically I can take it off and on real easy. All right, and it just tightens down right there. Okay, I want to apologize for not videoing this whole job. I didn't anticipate it being such a large job when I first looked at it. So when I got started, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just going to clean this up and get to the next one. I didn't anticipate this being a full day. But where I saved myself is that when I price jobs like this, the leaf cleanups, I price them by the hour. I say, hey, look, you know, here's the way it works. The average job takes between 2 to 4 hours total, and you know, this is how we charge. But you know, sometimes I take a little longer, sometimes I take a little less. I charge by time. Here's my minimum, and they agree to it. In this case, you know, I didn't think it would take as long as it did because it had been cleaned up already, but the flower beds had not been cleaned up yet. And one section of the yard back there with all the trees where we were just tarping, that hadn't been tarped yet. So I didn't anticipate so many leaves coming off this yard because the turf areas looked fairly clean. So you can see I can drag a ton of weight with this mower, but you know, anyways, the property itself looked fairly clean. This is the classic case of deception by leaves, where you go into it and you're like, it's not going to be that bad. I'll be in and out in about 2 hours and I'm on my way, right? Well, no, that is not what happened at all. By the way, this technique I'm doing right here, I've got the tarp on the ground. I'm using the blower to blow the leaves onto the tarp, not raking it on there. You can really only do that when there's a bunch of leaves and you got to get some on the tarp to kind of weigh down the edge of the tarp. You got to be very aware of where the edges of the tarp are so you don't blow them up like I just did. And I make it look a lot easier here than it is, but once you get that kind of stuff down, you can do that for the bulk removal, and then you'll have to come in and you'll have to blow it and then back into a pile for everything that's left over, and then tarp the smaller amount. But over in this area, we got a ton of leaves, so they were just being put over there, and there was a section where leaves had probably been there from last year, and it was just a much bigger job than anticipated. I spent a decent amount of time blowing them in the front and back into piles before I started shooting this video. And this is Aaron. This is his first try at using this method. You can see how he just blew the edge of the tarp. At that point, you need to clean it out and then fix the tarp, and then then start blowing them back over. If you blow the edges of the tarp up, you're just going to smash the tarp under there, and you're not going to get a whole lot onto the tarp. But it's one of those things, the more you do it, the better you get, just like with anything. It's just a technique. And, there's a lot of stuff I do in these videos that, not to like toot my own horn, but I make it look easy. And yeah, it's easy once you get the little techniques down, but it's not that easy when you just hand somebody a blower and it's their first time or something. Like it's one of those things that a lot of these guys, if you're able to work with somebody that's been doing lawn service or leaf cleanup or whatever it is for several years, and you're able to like just kind of shadow them for a day, really pay attention to what they're doing and how they move and what they're doing, and ask a few questions, and you'll skip some pain. Or if you're just kind of working your own property and you're cleaning up some leaves, look at the guy across the street that's cleaning up leaves, see how he's doing it. Always pay attention to other people, but always pay attention to your own setup and know your capabilities as well. So not to get too off course there. So anyways, yeah, this property was a total of 11 man hours. Okay, 11 man hours. That does not mean I was there for 11 hours. That means that between the two of us, I was there a couple hours before him, and I left a couple hours late. That's how it works when you're the boss. Sometimes you're there before and after. By the way, Aaron has his own company. We're working together, and we kind of have a mutual deal that is beneficial for both of us. And it's only for leaf season. But it's one of those things. He reached out to me. He didn't really have a leaf removal setup, but he has an awesome website, and he's generating a ton of leads. And he said, hey, can I send you some work because I can't keep up? And I said, because I knew I wanted these leads, and I knew that he was, knowing his situation, this is his second year, that he was probably needing some income. I said, sure. And what I did is I told him $25 per referral. Now, this is before he was working with me, and I didn't know, I was just making sure he'd get some money, some kickback for sending me the work. I told him $25 per referral that I landed. I'm pretty lethal on the phone. Get me on the phone and talking to somebody and put them through my onboarding process. I'm going to land quite a few of those, even at a pretty good hourly rate. So, I was giving him $25 per referral landed, and then he also asked if he could work and asked if I needed some help. I said, absolutely. So I'm also paying him an hourly wage. So, that's a pretty good hourly wage, all right? At least for this area. So, and it works out great for me. He's not on all jobs. He's on part of the jobs. That's kind of how it is. But the main thing is somebody approached me with referrals, with hot leads. And where I could have said, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take it, and then gave him nothing in return, I gave him something in return, and because I did that, I got a consistent and steady and large amount of leads that followed. So you always need to keep in mind that when somebody's helping you, you help them. Make it a mutually beneficial thing. If he'd have just passed them to me and I'd have completed them, sure, he would have got some sense of satisfaction that, the people that were calling his website were getting taken care of, and then his name wouldn't be burnt, but at the same time, he wouldn't actually be benefiting from it. I'll say from the referrals, I think he's made several hundred. I think he's made over 500 in referrals already. So, it's one of those things, like, make it worth it to other people. A little bit of money, it's just money, And that's one of those things that you just put that into your cost and you allow the client to pay for that. Okay? It's just an expensive business. Take care of people and they will take care of you. Alright? I'm not going to dive on that too deep. Let's go ahead and talk about the work. This pile is huge, and even though I was hammering it down, it's probably about right here. I started busting out the mower. Then I figured out, we're not going to fit all this in the box, so I started using the mower to shred it down, right? And I got a real good shred on it. So you can see I'm just biting at the edge, kicking it towards the truck. And you might be saying to yourself, oh my God, he's throwing all that stuff at his truck. Hey, I bought that truck as a tool, so if it gets scuffs, scratches, dents, dings, nicks in the paint, it's all good. I bought it as a tool. As long as it looks white from my client's porch, I don't care. It's a tool to me, okay? So I'll keep it mechanically running good. I'll try to keep it decent, but if it gets a few little nicks and stuff here and there, I'm not too worried about it. It's just collateral damage of the job. But I'm using the mower, and you can see I've shred that down, and I probably got that to, I don't know, what would you say, a quarter of the original size that was right there. So it's going to take up less space in the box. Having said that, there's still a lot of leaves in the backyard that are on their way out. Okay, right after this, I'm going to stop the video for just a second. I had a period of time where I did not video the job, and it was the last little bit. I knew I was kind of running out of daylight. I had to get it done. I apologize about that. Here is the final clip of the job. All right, it's all done, and it completely filled the box and completely filled the trailer, and my mower is actually hiding under there, and my tire's gone flat. No good. I'm completely trashed out. See how dirty I am. Yeah, it's my whole body. Leaves in my beard, all over me, dust everywhere. Feel it in the back of your throat. It's just one of those real big cleanups. This one took all day. I have not had one this year that took this long, and let's look at why, okay? Because it's kind of interesting. There's things that maybe you won't think of when you go to do it. Because if you saw it when I first started, it just looked like a little bit of leaves on the lawn, but there's a lot more that were in the beds and everything. So one, we've got rocks, and anytime you have monkey grass, there's gonna be a lot of leaves in there. Now, there's not every leaf is gonna be out of here. It is what it is. Vines take time. Monkey grass takes time. This courtyard, so they're not even 100% out of here. But instead of just being the wrought iron where I could blow it out, it's got this mesh. So, I mean, I took a lot of leaves off the property here. One of the odd things that did take an extra time was the back. There's a retaining wall, and the whole backyard is elevated, okay? And see all the sand? You know, there's a lot of sand, and this was a very dusty, dirty job, okay? But retaining wall all the way around the patios, and you know, there's some bushes in there as well. And then it's just a lot of catch points. But overall, the lawn looks good. So anyways, retaining wall there, couldn't get the mower up. And then in the back, all right, the lawn didn't look too bad, but same thing. Well, there's just a lot of trees, okay? And a lot of leaves that were over here. So the turf over there looked good, but over here it looked bad. Now let's go look at this. Let's go look at this retaining wall. And I'm gonna show you why we didn't do them over here. All right, I could have blown them out and then down towards the truck. That just wasn't gonna happen. All right. See, this retaining wall is about blown out. I'm not a retaining wall guy, but yeah, it's about blown out. So I didn't want to come across these support beams with tarps or big piles. Check this out. Open up this. Oh yeah. So this is the gate to the backyard. Pretty decent little drop. And then there's a retaining wall here, and it's about a 10-foot drop. And then we had a sprinkler head here, sprinkler head there. There's just several upright sprinkler heads, and because of that, I didn't want to run tarps this way. And this was a nasty job. But if you're concerned if I didn't make enough cashola, just know that I bill by the hour, so I always come out clean. I've learned that lesson too many times. When I showed up on this, I was thinking, this will only take me a couple hours. It took me all day to fill my truck and fill my setup. So if I would have built it like I used to, I would have ate it, man. I would have ate it bad. Would have been very, very bad day for the Juggernaut. Overall, it looks really good though. So I'm happy with that. I'm ready for a shower. See how dirty? This is those type of days. You get done with work, you go home, you take the shower, you're like, dang. Look at all that dirt washing off. But I'm gonna really rinse the area, man. I mean, look at all these trees. Trees for days. I counted that front yard earlier, and it has over 30 trees. And I was in this neighborhood with Horizon today, which is one of the biggest lawn companies in the area, and there were 5 trucks on this block, man. Okay, there were 3 over here, and they had 2 over here. One was regular truck with all the setup, and then a box truck. And they did all of these around me. Of course, they pretty much look like this, but they just dusted them off. It was very impressive to watch, though. I mean, they had a lot of guys on it, so it was cool. Tomorrow. Oh, by the way, the truck. Had a comment about the truck. The truck's fine. It was just a part broke. Fixed it, and that was easy. That was a few videos ago. And then the blower. Okay, what's going on with the blower? That video where I was talking about will it hold? That was like 4 weeks ago when I shot it. It was before Thanksgiving, and it's like December 10th or something now. I don't know what it is. Just don't pay attention. I'm working, man. I'm busy. But I will say, Mr. C's Lawn Care out of Barsville has invited me. He bought me a ticket to go to a seminar tomorrow and Saturday. It's Friday and Saturday, and it's on systems. So big thank you to Mr. C. I look forward to spending that time with you in the seminar, as well as enjoying the seminar. And that's it's real important to focus on your business and expanding your mindset on changing how you do things in business, because if you keep just talking to yourself in your head, while you'll get more efficient and things will get better around you, they'll only get better to a certain extent. You have to get somebody else's experience and somebody else's knowledge on something to actually fully expand and just to progress past a certain stage. I mean, you'll naturally do it, but it'll take years and years. So if you can jump past where you're at by going to a seminar or reading books or whatever it might be. Look at all this coming out of my shoe, man. Boom. That's gross, isn't it? But if you can expand where you're at by being around people, getting around people, listening to seminars, listening to books, why not do it, man? Why stay where you're at? Get better. Even if you plan on staying solo and small, stay solo and small and make the most money you can while you're doing it. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. This was a big job, and yeah, man, even though it took all day and it wasn't very fun, I enjoyed the aftershots. Hey, if you guys think that was a monster job, dude, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, Have a good one. I'm out.